Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. Okay, we are off to the races on the Liberty Bell. Do you see there at the bottom? That's a sneak peek. I'm not going to show you the rest until I get to show you the, I'll pull it up there after I show you what I did. First, let's do the socialites. This is the block this week from Stacy Itsu. Isn't that, I love these sew and flip blocks, and this looks so great. Look at the red and the light blue. I love it. So pretty, so pretty. So that is the block, and we are really moving along on those. I don't know how many are left, but we're way past the halfway mark, so that is super, super fun. All right, after we're going to talk about the Jubilee. Today is the first week that you'll start making Jubilee blocks. This is the pattern. It's from the Fat Quarter Shop. Whoops. And they do have a digital version. There's also a kit using my fabrics, the So Charming fabrics. So I will be showing you that. That's how mine is made. Also, drum roll that Kendall will be doing or has done a video that goes up today to go along with making the blocks. So for those of you who like to see the block actually walked through, because this is a paid pattern, he does not give you any directions, obviously, but he talks through the construction and gives you tips. So he does that over at his channel, Kendall Taylor, and it's linked in the description box below and the pinned comment here. And I believe I might have it linked over at my website, but it's very easy to find. So now let me show you my blocks. We're not looking at the design wall yet. So here they are. This is a row. They're big blocks. Okay, my chair's in my way. There we go. So this is one row, and there's 4 of them. And so if this is your main project for right now, you can do 1 row a week. Otherwise, do as many blocks as you can and just start setting them in rows. I'll probably talk about this for 5 weeks in a row till mine is put together. But ta-da! That's how big it is. It's a great lap size. Just wonderful. Here are 3 blocks. There we go. You get an idea. 3 blocks down, plus there's 1 more block. So it is really a super lap size quilt. Alrighty, I'll stick that right there. The other thing I want to tell you is that the last kit that I have out there for a quilt along from my fabric is the one with the rain clouds and the letters, called Silver Lining, designed by Wendy Shepard, my good friend. And this is what it looks like, and it's done with So Charming as the kit. Again, if you want to use your own fabrics and want to make it, there is a PDF as well as a print pattern for that one. So you want to be sure you pick that up and check out my fabrics. Now it is time for the Liberty. Well, I don't know what I did with the pattern. Oh, hear ye, the Liberty Bell with the state fabrics. What I did and what I will continue to do is this is now my primary project. My friend Bobby had helped me sew a lot of those other things because I'd had the ability to have that done in advance, not knowing what my schedule would be like. And so I am concentrating just on this pattern straight through and till I have the top done. So I will film little clips and then show them to you each week of the process and sort of my thoughts on it. So let's take a look. Here's the first part, the top of the bell. And this strip is for all these dark pieces, the navies. I'll use that top portion. So what I'm going to do next, this took about an hour to get there, which isn't bad. So I'm going to sew this unit and then start on the right side, and I'll put Pennsylvania, where I was born, on the top of the big star, and Virginia, where I live now, on the bottom, and then do all the other stars. So I'm just focusing on getting this whole bell done over the next few days. So yeah, that worked out pretty good. I'm pretty happy. This is like a dopamine hit, right? You know, you get like this much, like I can see what this is going to be like, rather than spending several days just doing stars. This, and then I get this part when I have that down here waiting. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm ready to think about the stars. I am only doing these, so that means the star points are just here. All of this will be the strips. They're called piano keys. Will be rectangles of the state fabrics, and maybe I'll put a star in here or there. Just depends if I feel like it. So what I've got here is whites. It's red, white, and blue, right? It's 3 small reds, a big red. White, they did 1 big and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 small, and then blue, 3 blue. And 2 of the big stars are a white and a red. And this would be Pennsylvania, and this will be Virginia, because I was born in Pennsylvania and live in Virginia. So what I did was I gathered some reds. I do not need a lot of fabrics. I want to actually keep it quite controlled, because out here this will not have that look, and so I want to keep in here very controlled. I don't want a lot of different colors. Also, the star points here are much smaller, so first of all, that will eliminate this one, because unless I used it for the big star, it's just going to get chopped up and not look red at all. So move that, and then I don't want to deal with the stripe. I thought I might, but no. So that leaves me with, I want to do just really, really basic. I'm going to do the large star with the bigger, the large star with this star print, because this is bigger. And then the other 3 stars, I'll either just use one of these, or they're very similar look. This has got a little blue in it, has a little bit different design. This was what is the fabric that was in the Liberty box, and this is a blossom fabric. And I don't have that much of that one, and just a fat quarter of this one, but that should be plenty to do 3. Just got 3 stars. All right, let's look at the blue. The same deal about the blue. I had pulled out some of these more medium blues, but decided I'm just going to, I only have 3 stars and they're small. I am not going to use these. These were from the Liberty box. And then the same thing, scale, scale, scale. So I'm going to take out the bigger one, keep the smaller ones right here. I think I'll keep those 2. And I may end up just doing them all in this. So remove this one. Okay. So I'm going to keep these 2 for now, so I can think about them. So that's the navy. So these are very, very tone on tone. This one is the bigger scale. Now for the white, same thing. I went through and I found the blossom that has the red. It's a white with navy and red little images. And then I also have this, which there's not a lot of, so I'm thinking I'll use it up. What I do want to find is something a little bit bigger scale for this white, and then use these 2 in the other ones. So let me grab some other lights for here. I was hoping to find a text print. I did find this one, which would be kind of cool because it's got the little buildings on it. Now remember, I'm just talking about the white for here. But the text print. This is what I'll do for the first one. And it is a patriotic text print from quite a few years ago now. I think it may have been from Sweetwater. I don't know, I'm not seeing the name of it. Somebody remembers. But I used pieces of this in other colors in some of the other quilts that you saw in the tour of the quilts I have hanging. Okay. Now let's look at fabric for the 2 states. First of all, the centers here are square and a square, which means my wording, for the most part, I want to go this way on the square. And so that means if it's too long of a word, like I can rotate it. But let's see, we'll look at Pennsylvania. I've got this where the Pennsylvania is right up at the top. I'd find it somewhere else within the print. Oh, there's one there. Hold on. Opening this up, there's yellow, green, and pinky red. Well, I don't want green, so we'll go with the pinky red. And basically, I'm taking the center, and it's going to be about here. Like this will be about the center line for making the square for the middle here. And that will give me plenty. And all the other words on this particular fabric are Pennsylvania things. And I do have a few other options, but I think I'm probably going to go with this one, but because I don't think that this one has the word, the Pennsylvania is, this is like Philadelphia. and that Pennsylvania is way too long, which this particular piece, all the words were just massively long, like ridiculous. I don't know what the manufacturer was thinking, like how were we supposed to use that? And this one is smaller, so that's an option, but I kind of like this. Now, Virginia options were disappointing. This is the full word by itself, which is, you know, way too big for that star. I don't want to make a different star, so I can't use that word. So which is a pain, real pain, because everything else is the word embedded in something else. And so you've got Virginia in with other states, Virginia in with other states, Virginia. And I don't want this one where it's in 2 words, so that'll be a no-go. I do like the text here. And so what I might do is just trim it out. And then I have the dogwood, which is, see, it says the Virginia dogwood. I might trim this one out and then build it into the middle of here. Or, yeah, it's just not ideal. Nothing is ideal on this, but that is okay. It's just the way, it's really nothing much I can pull off of here to put it in the middle. Like, a lot of this stuff doesn't feel like Virginia to me. Crabs, this, I don't know what that's supposed to be. We do have, the flowers are good, but yeah, I'm not sure about all that other stuff. The cardinal, yeah. So Virginia is not quite ideal, but I think I will do that. Piece these two into the square that I need. I have a plan. I've cut it out of here, and it's a little longer than it needs to be, so I just folded it under. So I was originally thinking, okay, it can't just go right on here because it just totally disappears. So it needs a background color. So let's try keeping it red and blue because we don't need to add white. That'll just not help it any. So there is red on the dogwoods, and remember they will be folded under on the corners for the square and the square. But I'm thinking navy would be better. Yeah, navy will be better, and then the pink dogwoods. So I'm just doing a rectangle around it, and then building out to get the square with this. Here it is together so far. There's going to be more, at least one more that's going to have to be sort of patchwork like that. Can I count? 6 white stars, 3 navy, 3 red. So all of these will be white stars, and this is the one that I will have to patchwork for sure, and it'll have to be angled across the block. Several of them will have to be angled, like New York will have to be angled, a couple of them. And these will be the navy, and these will be the red stars. So I have a plan. At the time of filming this, I had just laid everything out there on the ironing board, which now I've moved it so I can use the ironing board. Let me show you the 2 blocks, the 2 main blocks, the bigger blocks that are on the bell. So here's the one for Pennsylvania. What I did was I made these sew and flip squares a little bit smaller. I made them a 1/2 inch smaller so that they would show more of the fabric in the middle. I didn't want to cut off that much because actually it says Liberty Bell on there. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? And this is the, I think this is the Star Spangled Banner, this text for the points here. All right, let me show you the Virginia one because I had to, mock it up, and I made a change, which you've probably noted that, I don't know why navy I think looked really good, but the problem was I was doing red points, so I realized I really needed to make a red center, and that's how that one turned out. This is the dogwoods. I could have made the whole thing red just with here, but I felt like that was not as balanced to me. I wanted a little bit of lighter, like repeating the light from the center. So I've got Virginia, and let me put them back up. Well, you've already seen it, but while I'm talking here, I'll show you real quick again. There's the progress, and that strip on the side that's on the top of the Liberty Bell, that's the strip I cut off to use for the bottom sections, and I will be doing the bell. That's my goal. Get this bell done, and then I will see how many days I have left of the month. For some reason, my mind and my month, it's like I'm off. Like I keep thinking it's later in the month than it is. So that's good. That's good. Okay, my friend. It is time for you to make your Jubilee blocks and go over and visit my buddy Kendall's website so you can see how to make them. I really like this with the blue and the green. That one, those fabrics. And this is all my So Charming fabric line. All right, my friend. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.